Oh, I think you can click on that. Okay.
Testing, testing. Okay. Very welcome, okay, to all of you here. It's my pleasure to hosting you to this our fireside chat about from readiness to reality, okay, AI adoption and industrial collaboration. Okay. Quick question. How many times you've heard the word AI today? Okay. Countless, right? Think of, okay, maybe today is a special case. How many times you've heard it, let's say, last week? Or like last month? Okay. Still, I think that despite that, I truly feel that AI now is everywhere. Okay? And actually for good. So AI is no longer a futuristic concept from science fiction. It's here, it's real, and it's transforming industries at an unprecedented pace. That's precisely why understanding how to move from simply being ready for AI to actually implementing it successfully is so crucial in today's rapid evolving tech landscape. We need to move beyond the theory and into practical application. Now, there's a lot of buzz around AI, but today we want to move beyond the theoretical possibilities and focus on the practical reality, the nuts and bolts of AI adoption. When we talk about readiness, we are talking about more than just awareness. It includes essential skills, the robust infrastructure, and the vision. Reality, on the other hand, is about seeing those tangible benefits, the increased efficiency, the innovative solution, the improved customer experience. It's also about overcoming the many practical challenges to integrate AI solution seamlessly into our existing business and workflow, creating scalable and sustainable impact that drive real value. Okay, to help us navigate this exciting and complex journey, we have a fantastic panel of experts with us this afternoon. Okay, our session will begin very soon. So, first of all, may I invite all our panelists onto the stage. Okay, so first we have Mr. Laurence Liew, Director of AI Innovation and AI Singapore. Thank you. Laurence is our, sorry, maybe we all see it easier. Okay, Laurence is our alumnus of knowledge engineering. Second, we have Mr. Kenneth Goh, Engineering Team Lead, MAS. Okay. Kenneth is actually our alumnus of IS, MTech IS. Then we have Veronica Loh, okay, Manager, Data Science and Advanced Analytics, Bank of Singapore. Veronica is our alumnus for IS. Then we have, sorry, I just jumped, yeah. Tan Renjie, okay, Principal Data Scientist, Credivo Group. Renjie is our KE alumnus. Okay, welcome you all. Okay, so as you all know that our panelists is all our alumni actually. So kind of like a quick sharing. Maybe I invite you to have a quick sharing about your journey and your vision to this AI adoption and collaboration. Yeah, Laurence, please.
So yeah, so thanks everyone for making time. So I'm really happy to be back here. Like it was mentioned, I'm actually an alumni. I just asked my fellow panelists here, Renjie, which batch of KE he mentioned 30. I'm KE 5. So it tells you, Singapore has been doing AI for the longest time. It's not something that we just recently do. I come from an organization called AI Singapore that was started in 2017. So we've been around for 8 years, 100% funded by the government. We are a national R&D program for AI. But Singapore as a country has been doing AI since the 1990s or mid-1980s, right? I remember when I was doing AI here in ISS under the, back then it was called the graduate diploma deep in knowledge engineering, because AI was a bad word at that time, so they used knowledge engineering. And we were very aware of organizations like Changi Airport, SPH, all using AI. So it's been around for a long time. So my journey in AI really started when I was in school in NUS here. I'm a mechanical engineer, not a computer science. And I really got interested in programming. And in fact, my final year project was actually optimization, right? I had to design my own sort of an improved version of a gradient descent. And for those who are building neural nets, you need to reduce the errors and so on and so on. So it started way back then. And after I finished my engineering degree, I really wanted to get into IT. I couldn't get into IT. I remember very clearly, I can program anything. And I applied to, at that time, NCB, and NCB just rejected me, even when I had a first-class honors in mechanical engineering. They did not believe that someone who have no computer science degree can do IT. So that more or less set me on my path on where I am today, where I then got into the NUS-ISS program to do the knowledge engineering, and then landed up in Singtel doing AI for them. So yes, Singtel, this was 1994, 95, already had an AI lab, right? We were the first. We were using AI to do all the data mining and so on and so forth. And fast forward to today, after going through the whole open source, I brought people like Red Hat, Linux into Singapore. I brought commercial analytics into Singapore, all open source. And finally, after selling off my last company, or rather we got acquired by Microsoft, NRF asked me, hey, Lawrence, we are starting this thing called AI Singapore. Would you want to come and join? So that's how I ended up here. And a great, I remember that the NCB experience, and my belief was that anyone with a passion can do computing or do AI. So one of the programs that I created was called the Apprenticeship Programme. And actually all of them here, besides being a ISS alumni, is actually also a AI Singapore apprentice alumni. And my KPI from NRI was very simple, to do 100 AI projects. We have gone above that, we have done 300. But to do so many projects, I need engineers. I couldn't find enough Singaporean engineers. So we basically created an apprenticeship program and say, look, there is a lot of Singaporeans who are learning AI, data science, Python programming on their own, but they are not being hired by companies because companies don't know how to hire talented people who do not come from a background that they think the person should come from. So my apprenticeship program, which is running, I think we are into batch 20, we are onboarding batch 20 in 2 weeks' time. Only 2 requirements. You must be a Singaporean. Apologies to some of our foreign friends here. 2, you must pass our technical assessment. You must have the skill sets. We believe in lifelong learning. We believe in self-directed learning. And you must have the skills to get into our program, because 9 months apprenticeship it's very short time to train someone to become an AI engineer. It's just not enough time. So I needed the person to come in with a certain level of foundational skills. So with that, we onboarded people like them, and they'll share their journey, right? And in fact, Ren Jie was actually in batch 1. So you know, I'm sure he has a lot of interesting stories to share. So that was how we started, and today we are going into batch 20. Each batch is about anywhere from 15 to 30, but batch 20, because of the increased demand and requests from the government, we have to expand. We are onboarding about 60 over Singaporeans into the program. Okay, so there's a lot of difference between the apprenticeship what we do versus what training schools or what universities do. One of the core difference is we believe in the skills that you bring in. We believe in the domain experience that you bring into the program, because you'll be grouped into a team to work on a real world project. And your varied background is what makes the program so successful. If everyone comes from a computer science background, the solution will be very boring. But because everyone comes from a different background, that's why the solutions that the team have developed over the years have met customers' expectations. So as we continue the fireside chat, I think we will share more and more. I'd like to hand the time over to.
Okay. Thank you, Lawrence. Hi everyone. My name is Ren Jie. I'm currently a principal data scientist at Credivo. So what I do there, I lead the Gen AI team. And yeah, for those who don't know about Credivo, a quick intro is that we are a fintech unicorn based in Southeast Asia. And in a nutshell, what we do is we provide digital banking and digital credit services to millions of users, mostly the underbanked people in Southeast Asia. Yeah, so we don't have much product presence in Singapore because mostly of us are credit card users and stuff. So yeah, yeah, like what Lawrence said, I'm also part of the AI Apprenticeship Programme, and I'm batch 1. And I also did the Master's Programme, the MTech Programme. And I think I'm the last batch of KE. Yeah, before we rebranded to the more, so last time, you know, AI winter, so KE more valuable, but now it's AI
Now
back
AI
again.
is
So
more,
yeah, now it's
more attractive,
AIS, I
right?
heard, right?
Yeah,
Now it's even
AIS.
AIS. So the brand is always changing. I did ask one of our course coordinator, can we actually change it to, you know, can we also use the AI brand, but apparently cannot because then you don't have subsidy or something. So, but that was back in 2018 lah. So I think really excited to be back to see this newly renovated lecture hall, and yeah, I think to me I felt that so I'm just thinking back like so this was in 2018, and I think like Lawrence, I actually started off with a physics degree, and I was actually working at ST doing orbit planning for satellites. So because my physics degree I was more focused on black holes and stuff, so I thought I wanted to work on, you know, how the planetary object work, and it kind of piqued my interest. And but later on, you know, actually post orbital operations tend to be quite limited. So we were trying to exploit whatever images that we could do, and that entered me into the world of AI, mostly into computer vision at the time, like top-down satellite imagery. And then I wanted to study more. So that's where I decided to embark this journey. I would say like in my personal stage of AI readiness. So I did the AI Apprenticeship Programme, batch 1, and then the part-time masters at KE at NUS-ISS. Yeah, so yeah, I think 2018 those days were really exciting because that I still remember we were just huddling around in the room back in Innovation 4 together with William, Najib, yeah, and also Maurice, and we were just we were reading through papers like, you know, the attention is all you need, and that time we didn't know how transformative it would be, lah, pun intended, yeah, how the AI field it is today. Yeah, so I think it's really as I look back, like it's and fast forward to today, right? Like seven years uh, uh, later, where I now lead a Gen AI team. I think it's really quite. I have like this first-hand experience to see how readiness to reality it is which is kind of like the topic for today, which we'll talk about, where I can actually lead a team to deploy AI-ready solutions to drive business impact. Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Veronica. I'm a manager in Bank of Singapore in the Data Science and Advanced Analytics teams. To your question on how our AI journey got started, so my AI journey started about 6 years ago when I was in a job that was very operational, very manual. And so my colleague introduced me to programming VBA. And I saw how it drastically improved the productivity and efficiency of my work. So I wanted to double down on this. And hence, I quit my job without a job. I was very naive then. I applied to internship programs. I DM people to ask to work for free, but none of them wanted me. They didn't want a free labor. And I was jobless for 8 months until I had a friend who very kindly referred me to a posting in her department. So I got a job as a data engineer. But still, data engineer, it was kind of exciting, but I wanted to do something more exciting. Like there was talks about machine learning, AI, and I really wanted to do stuff like AI Singapore does. So I applied to AI Singapore for the AI Apprenticeship Programme. And Lawrence rejected me. I failed the technical interview. Very sad, but I tried again the second time round. And lucky for me, he didn't really change the technical interview questions. So I got in, and I was able to learn so much more about like good programming skills and be in a network of people who were also career transiting into AI. So it was in a mixed bag of people with physics degree. I was from accounting. There was pharmacists. There was lawyers, and those people, they are all like self-starter. They learned AI themselves, and it was great to see how this group of people come up with different perspectives on how to solve a problem. So that was how I got my break into AI industry. And then I wanted to beef up my resume further. So I applied for NUS-ISS. Thereafter, with these 2 degrees, I no longer apply for internships and ask to work for free. And I got to choose which company it is I want to work for. So that was my AI journey, and I'm very grateful for having the experience and the credentials from AI Singapore and NUS-ISS. Yeah.
Thanks, Veronica. And, I'm Kenneth. I just noticed that with me, the panelists are all from financial institutions, but I'm not here from MAS as a regulator, so just want to clarify. So I think about our journey, I'm really very interested, actually, as much as you guys, about what Renjie, Veronica, and even Lawrence have been through. As for myself, I'm currently at MAS, as you guys know. I work for the Enterprise Knowledge Department, building a Gen AI tool, an in-house tool for all the MAS officers to help them improve their work processes and their daily productivity, if you think about it that way. For me, my journey started like 5 years ago. I'm an accountant by training, so I don't know programming. I don't know AI, but I love to play computer games. So at a young age, I actually learned how to code by myself, and that was quite fun. So at around 5 years ago, I was still in the construction industry as a project manager. I discovered that Google has this low-code, no-code tool where I could detect defects on your concrete walls, your external surface. Then I thought, wow, instead of sending workers up, why not let's just send a drone. There I was imagining, and can I just build a model by myself with no skills? And I did, and it was wow, 95% accuracy. I thought, wow, game changer. AI is here today, and that was 5 years ago. But then I realized that I probably don't know enough. So I actually tried to search on the internet, and I found AI Singapore, the AIAP program. I didn't think I was good enough to try the technical assessment. So I went another route. I actually applied for the NUS-ISS degree. Then they had a stackable course, and then it was like 1 year. I told myself, if I were to give myself 1 year, can I transform what I know and completely move in a new direction? So I tried my luck, and I did about 9 months in, and then COVID struck. And I was like, dang, how am I going to find a job right now in this kind of market? But ISS was like great. I mean, I had it was like a career transformation because everybody was spending like 100% of their time doing coding. I thought my technical skills now is good enough to maybe try again at the assessment. So I was doing like internship at A-Star, I just quickly ran through the program. But boy, I think I was quite surprised because I gave it only 1 or 2 days to finish the technical assessment, and I was doing all the way until the last minute, just trying to get by. Because at the end of the day, when I finally luckily got through the program, I think I was maybe 50% just passable at most. I realized that the AI AP program actually gave a lot more engineering knowledge, taught me things that I wouldn't have known if it's just practical theory, a lot of theoretical, some practical at the master's course, but a lot of the hands-on that I get from the whole AIAP program was, I think, really transformative as well. Even though everybody was online, I think the discussion with the whole team from various industries, various backgrounds was mind-blowing, I think, at that point in time. So I think that explains my journey, and then I came on to MAS to build the Gen AI platform today. Yeah.
Thank you, Kenneth. Well, very good sharing. We have seen like really this AP program actually helping like each of you to actually get to where you are today. One quick question actually is, I've seen that many of you are not from, I would say, computer science trained or undergrad with like any like programming related course. So what do you think, or maybe let me rephrase it, in terms of currently, if you want to hire a new, let's say, AI engineer, what kind of gap it will be there, and how this AP program help you to bridge the gap?
I think today most university programs already have programming as part of it. Even when I was doing mechanical engineering, nearly 30 years ago, we had to do Fortran, because that's what engineers use. And then I went on to learn C, C++, Java on my own. If I were to hire, again, right, I will use this exact same way we are doing in AI Singapore. In fact, I started with 3 engineers. Today I have like 50, 60 engineers, and we have trained more than 400 Singaporeans to become AI engineers. More than 99% of my engineers all came through the apprenticeship program. Only a very small handful we actually hired externally because they were very experienced. So what do I look for? Whether you have the skills, right, and the passion. Because today, especially, AI is changing so fast. You must have the passion to be able to learn every day. Every day. There's a new paper published every other day that even I can't keep up. But if you want to be in AI, you have to be able to read those papers and so on and so forth, especially if you want to be at the cutting edge. So as a hiring manager, for me, it's the same. I would do basically a technical assessment, and I won't even look at the person's degree or the scores. In the AIP, we have never looked at whether you are first class, second class, what are your marks in your computing or your programming. Does not matter. What matters is, this is a data set. Can you analyze? Can you give the correct prediction, classification? Why do you choose this algorithm? That's it. Do you have the skills? So my apprenticeship program today, we have people who, yes, degree holders. I have masters, I have PhDs. I have people who only have a diploma. and batch 20 is starting in 2 weeks' time. Someone who only has A levels. Does not matter. I mean, we are talking about hiring based on skills, right? So let's walk the talk. So for the hiring managers out there, my advice is do a proper test of the skills. And please, it has to be very mindful about it. If you're trying to hire an AI engineer, test for AI engineering skills. Don't test for computer science skills. If I had given all of them computer science tests, right, like the lead code and so on, all of them will fail. Confirm, because they were not trained that way. But if I want to hire AI engineers, that means people who can think through a problem, use good enough Python skills to apply, to work on the data and come up with a solution. That's what we're looking for. So a lot of companies, unfortunately, today, when they hire, lazy. They just use things like lead code and so on and so forth. And a lot of good engineers don't get through because a lot of them are not computer science trained. They can't do all the fancy algorithm that some of these tests ask for, right? So that's one. Two, I think culture fit. So as part of our interview process, if you pass the technical assessment, we'll bring you back. We actually have one-on-one, but we also put you in a group to actually figure out how you interact with people. Very common feedback we get from the apprentices is that it's the culture, it's the environment, it's the vibe that they get, that they enjoy so much in the apprenticeship program. So we want to make sure we bring the like-minded people together. So two things, right? Technical skills and culture.
Thank you, Lawrence. Okay, I would speak from my experience as a hiring manager in Credivo. So, I guess I mentioned we are a unicorn, but we are still functioning like a startup, so it's pretty lean. So I guess when I look for people to join my team, right? So I just share a bit. When I first started, it's just 3 of us. Now we expanded to 6 data scientists and 2 product managers, so like 8 people. And yeah, I think what I felt, I mean, I interviewed quite a few, I think around like 30 candidates. And I have to be a little bit selective because there is a limit in budget, but essentially, what I felt that was actually definitely the technical skills is something that is important, and how we do it is, even though it's like, you know, Gen AI, like LLM and deep learning kind of stuff, we still get our candidates to go through a take-home credit risk assessment. So fundamentally, our bread and butter in the company is actually building a credit risk model. And I think the credit risk assessment, take-home assessment, actually assess the candidate's ability to do, like, you know, basic stuff like EDA, understanding the data structure, cleaning up the missing data, how do you do interpolation, and then, of course, definitely the modeling and explaining the model, computing thresholds, risk thresholds, and then doing trade-offs analysis, which I think assess the critical thinking part. Yeah, so I mean, like Gen AI and, you know, deep learning, it's most of the time a bit like black box kind of solutions, right? So although my team is looking at that, we still keep the mandate that we want to assess these critical thinking skills of a traditional, more traditional AI ML kind of algorithm, like or do we use gradient boosting, or do we use like random forest, for example? And then this kind of trade-off, we still go back to the fundamentals. And I think when I hired, and I think it works well, this playbook works well. And that's for the technical side, right? So the other thing it's also, which I look for, it's as what Lawrence said, right, is correctly said, it's like this field is very dynamic. So back in 2018, we learning about attention, right? Now it's really about agents. The field is changing so much, right? And like MCP, and as we build more tools, and who knows, like back those days, I think stable diffusion was the state of the art, and now it's no longer. Now it's like, you know, flux and context, connects and stuff like that. So it's always evolving, but actually, we look back, actually the fundamentals are the same. So I actually still want to hire someone that knows the fundamentals, but also are not only just stuck to the time of the past, still adaptable, like willing to learn. Doesn't have to be usually correlated with age. Usually the younger people more up to date with the technologies and stuff, and then still willing to learn and always evolving. So yeah, and on the culture side, we are mostly looking at I would say there's this term, not sure if I got it correct, it's called intellectual humility. So basically, we want to hire people that acknowledge the gaps in their knowledge, or things that if they don't know, they say they don't know. And they are not trying to, I feel this encourage, as a startup, right, we want to move quick and stuff like that. So when we attack a problem, there is always a few phases, right? Like we need to break it down and establish what the things that we currently know, what's the unknowns and stuff like that. And having that kind of intellectual humility within the team is actually quite good. And we can immediately say, oh, this is the gap we need to bridge. And do we want to learn it in-house? Do we want to work with partners like AI Singapore or like AWS, GCP, and in this field? And then that's how we do it. And I think definitely, so we are Southeast Asia. So we have like Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and right now Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. Yeah. So another last thing is like more of like you need to know how to speak English. So yeah. So actually, there's some make sure that's English is kind of like a common language. So that's a bit on how we do hiring in Credivo. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
For me, I'm an individual contributor, so I haven't hired. But last week, I read a really interesting article. It was about this startup. I think it was Diary of CEO, Stephen Bartlett. He gave all his team members an assignment, which is research and present to me how you can use AI to replace yourself. And I thought that was really interesting. Because, we were very focused on how to build stuff, but I realized in these past few weeks there are so many productivity tools that can drastically enhance our efficiency. For example, my friend, who I met from AIAP, she's running her own startup now. And she says she doesn't hire intern anymore or even fresh graduate. Instead, she uses Devin AI. She pays $500 a month for the enterprise version. And it can help her code, create a pull request, look at merge conflicts, edit code. So I feel the level of skills has transformed. Initially, maybe we were focused on computer science skills, how to do a binary tree search and all that. And then we were focused more on using libraries, which was what Laurence was testing for, data manipulation, using pandas for data manipulation and all that. And now I believe there may be a shift to looking at products that are already available in the market instead of libraries. Products are already available on the market. Are you aware of them? And can we use them to 10 times our productivity? If I don't hire, but if I were to hire, I would think in that direction.
As for me, I think I'm a bit lazy. So as what Laurence has mentioned, I cheated a bit. I hired from AI Singapore. But that aside, I think that cheat code aside, right? I think one of I echo a lot of the points that was like mentioned by Laurence, Veronica, and Renjie. I think culture is very important. So for us, actually, we are building Gen AI tools. Being aware of the tools, what's coming up next, what are the MCP servers out there. Have you ever tried the tool yourself? Have you ever bring on those? They are more important than leak code. I mean, you can just copy and paste your leak code into ChatGPT. You'll probably get an answer that is like maybe 5 or 6 times better than you. But do you really understand what it means? Do you really know how to do it in your work processes? That, in fact, I think is something that even I struggle. I look at my youngest team member from like NUS-ISS and I ask him, wow, how do you guys use Cloud Code? I don't really know how to do it, and I learn it. I think that is the most important point. Every team member should be self-directed, have the ability to learn, right? And I think that is something that both the masters and I think the AIAP program has provided for me as well. Yeah.
Thank you. I think a lot of wisdom. So just now we have heard a lot of tips in terms of what the hiring manager is actually thinking. And also I think Sam, Veronica, to actually bring up this alarm saying that, hey, Are we being replaced by AIs? And how shall we actually adapt with that? I actually have a quick poll. Okay, just give me a sum up or sum down. Okay, so if it's the first choice, you think it's the first choice, you give me a sum up. If you think it's a second choice, you give me a sum down. Okay, so the question is, are you worried more about the first, which the AI is not intelligent enough, which will fail the task? So that's the first one. Second one, the AI is so smart, it will replace humans. Which one you will worry more? If it's the first one, give me a thumb up. If it's the second one, you will thumb down. Oh, first one. Wow, we have a very okay. Any thoughts on that?
I think today, I mean, the AI or AI agents are getting better and better, but I think the humans are still required. And like what Kenneth was saying, as the agentic systems or the programming tools like Devin and so on that Veronica mentioned gets better and better, we are the users and we are actually directing how all these agents are working. And in fact, to add on to their point is that moving forward, I think all of us will have to become managers. You're going to have to be managing a fleet of AI agents that will be doing a lot of the boring, mundane work that you do not want to do, okay? And that's one of the skill sets that everyone needs to have. How do you orchestrate and manage a fleet of agents? Definitely there will be tools that will be built to help you do it better and better, but you still need to understand the fundamentals. Now, since it's ISS, we're talking about programming and coding and so on. Even with all these agentic tools, you still need to know the foundations. Like what Renjia was mentioning. If you don't understand, the AI agents, you have to understand, the way they've been trained is to make you feel good. They always say you are right. So whatever they give to you, if you say that, hey, actually, I don't think this is correct, they'll say, oh, yes, you are right. Then they'll generate another version. And they'll just keep generating another version after version as long as you are not happy, right? It doesn't have a mind of its own. If I've tried many times, please, you can disagree with me. The AI doesn't do that, right? Or at least those versions of LMs that I've used. The foundations I picked up in the universities, in NUS-ISS and so on, right, provided very solid foundation to allow me to validate whether what the AI is generating is correct or not. I remember it was over here that I first learned of the Gang of Four. I'm not sure. Those are in programming, you should know, right? The Gang of Four. And you talk about the facade pattern, singleton pattern, and so on. Fantastic, but as a fresh grad, to program that, it was like, wow, you want to do it in C, C++, or Java. It's like, how do you do it? It's really difficult, right? You don't have enough experience. So you could only implement very simple structures. But today with Gen AI, and this is something I experienced about maybe 7 or 8 months ago, it actually could generate singleton patterns, facade patterns, and because I remember those things, right? I was really passionate about it. I would say, this way of implementing is no good. Let's use a singleton pattern or a facade pattern. And the AI knew how to do that. And then that was the first time I see, okay, that's how you can implement it. So use the AI correctly, but you still must have very, very strong foundations. You cannot run away from that. I wouldn't be afraid of, so there's now a lot of fear of fresh grads coming out, not being able to find a job because people are not hiring the fresh ones. Probably for startups it's a bit harder, but my take, in the next world we continue bringing fresh grads, right? Part of our mandate and part of my own personal belief. But for those who are hiring managers here, you have to think, right? If you are not training your fellow Singaporeans, young graduates, who will be training them? No one.
Sorry. Yeah, I think I echo what Lawrence said. To me, AI is still a tool. It's not there to really replace people yet. At least in Singapore context, I'm not sure. You know, like Mark Zuckerberg is saying like, oh, no more AI. But yeah, I guess we are not, at least in Singapore context, I don't think we are there yet. So yeah, essentially, I still feel that it's more of like, hey, you know, you need to make sure the prompt engineering, the context engineering is done correctly. Yeah, that's my fear as a data scientist.
So
Yeah.
the AI is not good enough in the near future.
In the near future, let's see. Let's see.
simple
Yeah.
task.
Yeah.
Simple tasks, yes. But those that really require a lot of thinking, creativity, no, not yet.
I echo what Lawrence said. With Gen AI, there's a shift from us generating stuff to validating. So being a good QA person, a validator, the foundations are important. So at least in the near term, I don't know how long we have, 2, 3, 5 years, I think there is still a need for humans to check what has been generated and for the humans to have the taste to decide, select the better generated things. In the longer term, I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the panel, I agree with what the panel says. I think I don't really know what will happen in 5 years. But as of today, I think if you just look at the whole agentic evals out there, any next 3 or 4 steps, even GPT-5 will not make it. And that's the reality, right? So you have to do a lot more validation. Evals is going to be a lot harder, not like the past where you could just have a simple test set. Now you even have to generate your test set and then validate it. I think it's kind of, it's going to be that way going forward. It's going to be quite tough.
Thank you. Okay, I think that to try to summarize from the panelists, all agree that, okay, at least in the near future, AI is not good enough to replace human. And so it means that we still have our job. But AI is actually evolving very fast. So long term, we currently have no idea, okay? But still, I think that with the evolving of AI, the industry will actually change and moving very fast. So maybe let's moving to, maybe that's my last question actually to all of you, then before I open to the floor. So, so how about from the company's perspective, how do you actually really measure whether, I think that many of you are doing AI projects, how do you measure that this AI project is ready to be implemented? Or another one is like either ready to be really onto the production.
So in AI Singapore, we have a project canvas and we ask all companies to go through what we call the AI Readiness Index. Very simple, 12 questions to actually try to figure out where they are. And we will only do projects with companies who are what we term AI ready. So the AI Readiness Index basically split you into AI unaware, aware, ready, and competent. And when we are talking to companies to determine whether it's something that we want to move forward, we ask a couple of things. One, what's ROI? That's to me is the most important. Why should we be spending money, your money, taxpayers' money, to work on projects, right? To co-fund the projects. So it's all about what's the ROI. Following that will be amount of data. Do you have the people that can take over from us, and so on and so forth. A couple of things will tell us whether the project outcome will be successful or not. And of the 300 projects, I only had 2 cases where the company was not happy. It's very different from the MIT report that came out 2 weeks ago. 95% of all Gen AI projects fail, right? Ours is 2 out of 300. Not all Gen AI, but AI, right? Gen AI alone, we have a program that we build Gen AI applications for we teach and mentor them to build. Out of the 50, 60 that we have done for them, more than 60% actually go into deployment. So I think working through a proper scope of work, ROI is very important. A lot of this Gen AI projects that company launch is through innovation team that their KPI is not deployment. Their KPI is how many hackathons they run a year, right? Or how many people participate in their competition. So it's very hard to actually get real-world outcome if you are not very deliberate about it. SOW, ROI, data sets, manpower.
Thank you so much. Any add-on from the panelists? Yeah, just like...
Okay, maybe I'll just do a quick one. So I mean, like the context, so I'm like actually leading the Gen AI team, right? And I mean, we deploy, I think, around 10 plus Gen AI applications, mostly on the operations side. So that's why I feel where Gen AI, like large language models are actually really good at. They're really good at, processing large amount of unstructured data and converting them into structured data. Then you can, do actions on them, like function calling and stuff like that. So when my team actually, so the thing is that team is very, very lean, and there is a lot of hype going around within a company, and how do we actually select which projects to work on? I think that's very important. Firstly, the first card is like, does AWS have it? Does GCP has it? If you have it, then just use those tools, right? Or it's like, can Cloud Code solve it? And then, yeah. So our team is more specialized into very custom-made solution using frameworks like LangGraph, LangChain, and stuff like that. So, and I think ROI is really important, and how our team actually measure this ROI, I would say two metrics, right? What performance metrics, and lastly is the what's it called? Yeah, cost is one also. I think there's another metric, yeah, but anyway, in performance is like accuracy, and then also like the user experience, right? Like, does it actually improve the thing? Oh yeah, the other one is more of like scalability. So definitely, let's say we build a chatbot, right? Like we wanna, like right now we have our individual customer service, and their working hours like 9 to 7, right? 9 to 6, for example. So if we have a chatbot, it can operate, 24/7 around the clock. Yeah. And we expand to Thailand and Philippines this year. So we do not need to hire. I mean, we do hire, but we don't need to hire that big a team. It's like 80 people working in Indonesia right now. Like in Philippines and Thailand, we just have like maybe 10 people. Cool. And it's actually quite good enough with the help of chatbot to actually, surely they cannot, satisfy all the customer queries, but they could do like 80% and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's one thing that we work on.
Understood. Yeah. Okay, due to the time constraint, okay, we only have allow one questions from the floor. So anyone has any like burning questions? Okay, please.
So good afternoon. So just one question I have. So recently, like Ensign Wang said that, the Python is not the programming language, or, it's not Rust, it's English right now. And also maybe Facebook saying that, mid-level software developers are being laid off. We are building an AI agent to replace them. So what do you say for the coming up generation? So, I mean, should we really deeply focus on the fundamentals of software development, or being more of an AI generalist? So what's your take on that? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I won't change what I said earlier. You still need to be very strong in your foundation, and then you'll be using Claude or whatever to accelerate what you're doing. You can't use Claude or Gemini or Devin effectively if you don't have a strong foundation. And that's it. I mean, they are just tools. Now, for Meta, maybe it's not in their DNA to want to hire fresh and train them. But I'm sure not everyone is aligned to that kind of belief. I think a lot of organizations understands that if you don't train the fresh graduates or you don't bring them in, there are no more seniors within your organization eventually. So I think you have to continue to learn the fundamentals. Python is just an expression of programming ideas, right? You can do it in Python, you can do it in C, C++, you can do it, and 60 years ago they did it in punch cards, right? Today you can do it in English, but it doesn't, you still have to know what is cache. How do you design your cache? Does your system need a cache? Or do you want a RDBMS or NoSQL database work better. Without understanding the fundamentals, you will not be able to make that decision. Right? The AI is not going to help you there. And the AI will, you say, how the AI is being trained? The AI is being trained on what they see on the internet, on Reddit, on Stack Overflow, and so on. But how many of those solutions that's out there are actually a good architecture? May not be.
Great, great. A lot of wisdom. Okay, thank you, Lawrence. That brings us, okay, to the end of this fireside chat. I want to thank our incredible panelists for sharing their invaluable insight and experience, okay, with us today. Okay, can we give them a round of applause? Okay. Okay. Also, thank you all for your time. Have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah.